So hello everyone, welcome to Code with Ivan, and in this video we are going to learn about some concepts like Lombok and SonarLint in Spring Framework. And also we will be learning about the layered application, how the layered application is built in Spring, like the controllers, services, interfaces, and their implementations also. So stay tuned till the last, and you will get to see the hands-on on each and every topic that we are going to discuss in this video. So let's start. Okay, so these are the concepts. Like firstly, of course, the first things first that we need to do. First, initialize a Spring class with the Spring Web and DevTools. We have also done this previously, but now we will be moving little faster and little more forward about it. And unzip it, import it into IDE. We know all of these things and run it. Now, this is the new concept, a Pojo class. Now, what is basically a Pojo class? So, it is a class with some setter getters methods and a toString method. And a constructor also could be there in this. So, in order to access the variables of a Pojo class, we need setters and getters because it somehow shows the privacy of the variables. By default, all the variables are private. So it shows the privacy about it. Only the setters and only using this setters and getters, we can access it, all those variables. We will get to see this. Now we will be creating a controller. We have also done this before, but we have not injected the Pojo class in controller. Okay. Now we will use request body for Pojo. Request body, you know, all of you, it converts the JSON data into the Java object that will be coming from the Postman itself. Okay. Now we will be applying Lombok. Where are we going to apply this? So we are going to apply Lombok to our Pojo class so as to become our code less lengthy. Okay, perfect. And apply SonarLint. So what is basically a SonarLint? Okay, so let's study about them first. So let's first Lombok. What is Lombok in Spring? Okay, so here we can see like Spring Boot Lombok is nothing but a small library that we use to reduce the unused code from the Java applications, and it is automatically generating the setter getters method for the class object. Using it, we can hook in by using the API of the annotation process. So if you want to learn more about this Lombok thing, then you can go to its official website where all of the things is listed, like the features avoid repetitive code again and again, like setters, getters, they are. So here we need to pass this dependency to our form.xml file. As you know, all the dependencies goes there. Okay, setter, getters, constructors, so repetitive. So you can see these are the variables, and this is a constructor basically, and some setter getters should be there. But with Lombok, we don't need to write all of things. We just write the variables, and the Lombok will do the rest of them. Of course, with some annotations is required. So you can go through it all of it, go through it all, and yeah, that is it. We'll see that later. Now, what are we going to see? Sonar Lint. This also we are going to discuss. SonarLint is an open source extension that helps developers find and fix code quality and security issues as they write code. Okay, so this is basically, you say, provides the project standards. What is the right way of implementing the project and what might go wrong? So it works like a spell checker, like highlighting like what needs to be fixed in this question, better quality code. It enhances the code quality basically. It detects a variety of issues like it is mentioned here, common mistakes, bugs, vulnerabilities, and holds and also provide a clear guidance on how to fix the issues. So yeah, all of this is this free plugin for your IDE like Visual Studio or IntelliJ. But for this video, we will be using STS, Spring Tool Suite. You can use IntelliJ and Eclipse also. That would also be fine. Okay, what it is used for helps you find and resolve security code quality. Basically, it helps to find the problems in your code, like what goes wrong, more like a debugger. Okay, so that's it. Then we will learn more about in practical. So we will be needing Spring Initializer. Okay, so for starting the Spring project, Spring Initializer is required. Okay, the project I'm going to choose is Maven and the language will be Java. Spring Boot version will be this, no snapshot builder version because this might be some issues in that. Let's choose the stable. The group name, I'm naming it after myself. Uh-huh. So for this, the name would be, let's keep it as demo for now. Perfect. So jar file, Java 22 we are working on. Let's do 17 because I think my STS is running on 17. Okay, so now let's add some dependencies. What dependency needs to be added? First of all, Spring Boot DevTools, this dependency, and another one was web dependencies. And further on, we will be including all of the dependencies whenever, as and when required. Okay, so this looks fine. Let's generate it. Hmm, okay. Hmm. You can see it is downloaded. Let's go to the location where we have downloaded it and uh, let's extract. Uh, what's the issue? Replace the files. Okay, let's do this. And let me check. I think I have this thing already, so it is creating a config. Okay, no worries. We will make another one. Okay, let's make another one. But this time with the name sample. Let's see. Sample. Okay. This will be fine. And these two dependency will be there. Actually, that problem occurs because I think I previously made a zip file with demo name. So that is why it is conflicting some errors. Okay, so I'm going to unzip it. Hmm, perfect. Okay, so it has been unzipped. Hmm, and we are this. Okay, so let me open this in my. Oh, will it open in STS like this way? Okay, let's open our STS and I'll open it from there. Okay. So, okay, we will unzip it and import it. Now we are going to import it in our ID, the string ID. Let's wait till it is loading. Okay, this is still loading. Oh, it takes a lot of time, like opening this application from scratch. So I usually avoid doing that. I just keep it in the tabs. But it's okay. Finally, it's opening. By the way, do tell me in the comment section like if you find this video knowledgeable or not, like if you learned something new or not. Do mention in the comments. It will be much good. It will be nice to. Okay, so now this is my payment project that is currently it is open. So okay, so I'm going to open another projects from the file system. That is the sample one. Okay, let's go to the directory. Mhm. Go to the downloads, sample, select folder. Two samples are there. Okay, I shouldn't open because two files will be open. I need to be careful about it. Okay, so I click on this here. Hmm. Now there is fine. I guess let's click on finish. Hmm. So let's avoid these two for now as we are working on this currently. You can see that it is initializing this repository here. Let's wait. The downloading is being done here. Main Java. Um, uh, okay, so I'm going to close all and opening this one. Let's wait for a minute until this whole process is done. Till then, you can like this video. Okay, I hope no problem is being occurred. Okay, okay, fine. So far, so good. I don't know, man, how, why does it take so much time? Let's go. Okay, let it complete and we will run this application if it is working fine or not. According to that, we will be doing on update, downloading sources. I got panicked when I see this red line. Seriously, like, okay, now it is removed. Everything fine. Hmm. Hmm. Still, okay, let's wait. In the meantime, we can see the dependencies that we are going to work with. Like, let's go to the Maven repository. Of course, to integrate the Lombok and the SonarLint in our Spring project, we need some dependencies to work with, which we are going to integrate in the pom.xml file. So go first search for Lombok, enter. So here you can see project Lombok. Let's click here. So yeah, the library provides annotation to simplify and ease of developer. Okay, so let's choose this one, the latest version. This is the dependency. This is for Lombok, and let's see for SonarLint as well that we are going to work with. SonarLint. Okay, SonarLint. This is what it is. Not much usage by the developers. Still. Let's see this. SonarLint core, SonarLint source. Okay. Or we can directly install it from the ID, I think. Let's see that if we can do that. How much more time? You can see guys, I have already installed SonarLint, but still I will show you how to install it and install it into ID and integrate it successfully and run it. But for now, let it be. Okay, so let it be. This will work, of course. Let's jump onto the coding part. Okay, so for now, we have this package forward_path.sample, which here we have this file. Now we are going to create another package which will be a Pojo class. In Pojo class, we will be writing all those Pojo classes with the various functions like setter getters and toString method. Oh, what's the problem here? Make sample application will be able to package that sample, but it is already there. Remove package declaration, package. Uh, Let it build. I think in some application error. Okay, clean project. Let me clean this one first. I think some dependencies conflict is there. Okay. Okay, so I'm running this project. Run as Maven build. Firstly, we are going to clean the package and then we will run this. Because for the first time, if we are running an application, first let's clean the package. Okay, it's running. Let it run. Hmm. Let's wait for a minute while it generates the results. Once build success comes, we will run it through Spring. Okay, build success comes. Okay, fine. Now let's add something here so as to ensure this out. And I would write here application executed successfully. Okay, save it and run it. Even good. To run with Spring, the command will be clean Spring to colon run. Enter. Now see this. This should execute at last. Also, we will be working with Postman. So let me open that Postman. Opening. So let it run first. I don't want it to open right now. Okay, so you can see the Spring logo has come. Yes, you can see the message here that application executed successfully. The same message every means our application is running perfectly fine. Okay, so far so good. Let's avoid this error for now because it is useless for now. So what are we going to do? Firstly, create a Pojo class. This thing, run it. Okay, we have done till here. Now we have to create a Pojo class. Okay, fine. So let's create another package for Pojo class. So new and package dot sample dot Pojo. Okay. Now within this, let's create a file like naming payment, because ultimately we are working on the payment system. So let's name it as payment machine. So this is our payment class. Okay, so for payment, what would be required? Various things can be required for payment, right? So firstly, ID in ID would be there, and let's keep it private. Okay, now the next thing would be private string name. Name would be there for our ID for payment, for making the payment. What else would be there? ID will be there of the name of the customer. Payment type. Payment type would be there. Private string payment type. Payment type will be there, and private private double amount. Amount will be there in the double format. Okay, so let's take four for now. Let's take 10. Okay, perfect. So now we need to implement the setter getter. We can write the setter getters by ourselves, or we can use our IDE to generate them. So the best approach is to generate it with the help of IDE, because no developer would want to write this on their own. So it's nothing but a waste of time. So let's generate the setter getters, and I'm using them all. So you can see all the setter getters have been generated. Okay. Now, toString method is also needs to be generated. So then again, source and generate toString. Click on generate. Okay. Tostring is also generated along with setter getters. Okay, this is fine. Okay, let's save it. So whatever we do in the controller. The routing logic always goes to the controller. So let's create a controller also. So let's create a controller class. Okay, and it will be in the package controller, because naming convention is so important in this. Okay, so the name I'm going to write it test controller. Okay, so test controller is there. Fine. Okay, so in this controller we are going to mark it as REST controller. REST controller identifies that this particular class of Java is a controller, and within this we are going to define our routing logic. Okay, it's lagging a little bit. Okay, REST controller, here it is. Okay, The rest controller notation has been used. Now public what would be the return type? Let's keep it as a string, public string, and the name of the test test string, or you can see test method. Hmm. And for now, it will be returning a simple response from controller. Now this the method has been made a simple method, like we have also seen this in the previous video of mine, that how to create a controller, how to do all these things. So I am not going to repeat it. You can check that from there. So now I need to define an endpoint here, a post request or get request, whatever it is. So for now, I'm defining the get request, get mapping. Mm, yeah, get mapping would be there, and the mapping would be, let's have a say uh, test. Okay, and here also I am going to use another request mapping, which will be which says like controller. Hmm. Let's save it. Hmm. Okay, so application is running. You can see now. Let's go to the post one, and let's create another one. Like this is already created, but this is different. So let's create another one. Blank collection. Sample view, and within this we are going to create a request body. So add request. Let's keep it as new request, and the URL. What could be the URL of this? So let's see in which code it is running. Let's see here. Okay, it started on which code? 8080. It can see Tomcat started on 8080 code. Okay, so http colon slash localhost colon 8080 and slash, what is the endpoint here? The endpoint is basically first controller and then test. So the same thing we are going to do here. Controller test, and the method type would be get. So no change in that. Like click on send. You can see the response from controller that we have written here, from controller. So it is working perfectly fine. Now what we need to do here, as we have made a Pojo class, so we need to define it also. Okay, so in test controller, you know the annotation that I told you, request body, which basically converts our JSON data into a Pojo class. So that is what we are going to do over here. So here we are going to pass in the body section, we are going to pass the JSON data in the raw file. Here JSON data will be passed, and that JSON data will be converted into a Java object using the request body annotation. So request body, okay, request body payment. Okay, this payment not defined. Why is it giving me an error? Payment. Okay, fine. Now the payment has been given. Now we will also print it. Only then we will get to know this phrase. It basically gives the class name with the method name. And here, what we are going to do, we are going to write payment and payment. Perfect. Let's see if the data comes or not. So let's save it. Application executed successfully. Okay, so as we have passed a request body here, and the method should also be post, because we will be passing the body. I've also discussed all these mappings earlier, so do check that out. Do check out that video. Okay, so So what it is, ID, name, okay, payment type. Okay, so what I'm going to do, firstly, ID, ID will be 11, and name would be, I would name it myself, and what else was there? ID, name, payment type, and amount. Okay, payment type. What could be the payment type? One time, and amount will be 299.90. This would be the amount. Okay, so this is the data that we have passed here. Okay, let's click on, okay, also do it post. We are passing the data. Let's click on send. Okay, the response is this. Okay, so let's check in the console if the data coming or not. So yes, the data is coming. So what did we write there? So this test controller, test method payment, and this method payment, and the payment object that we've defined contains this whole thing. So the data is being passed perfectly. The data is coming fine. But we, now the Lombok comes into picture. So let's see. In the payment, we have defined all these things. Like this is a too huge file for us to read. So we need to reduce the boilerplate code. So for that, Lombok is used. Okay, so let's go here. The dependency that we have seen for Lombok, this, let's copy it and paste it in the form.xml file. This is our form.xml file. Go to here and we are going to paste it. Uh, where are my files? Here. Okay, so okay, so let's save it. You can see the things are being processed here because when we save a new when we add a new dependency, then it starts processing automatically again. All the things have been done by itself. After this, we also need to rebuild the application so as to infect the changes that we have made. So project clean and clean this project. The project is being cleaned and also right click on it and run as let's go to Maven update project. Okay, that would be good. Update the project because Maven one dependency is added. That is why we are updating it. It's always a good practice to do these things and wait for a few minutes. Hmm. I think it's working fine. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Just remove all these separators. Okay, we have removed all this and this toString also. And instead of that, we will use an annotation called data, which will be, you can see here that it belongs to the Lombok package. So let's click on it. Now the setter getters and toString method has been generated automatically. Now I'm saving it. Okay, all these files are saved. Let's go to the Postman and hit it again from controller. And here the value is coming that. So the Lombok function is very beneficial to us. But if we do not provide any value to this, then it will be null. Like if I remove the data here, let's see what happens if I remove this, saving it, and all the things have been processing again. Hmm. Let's go here, hit the send button. So it's nothing is coming because we have not passed any data. So that is what Lombok is. Okay, I hope you got the taste of Lombok, like how it is being used. And also you can another way of importing it, you can go to help section in the ID and install new software, and in that you can type this text HTTPS project Lombok. So this is the URL to check if the Lombok is present or not. But in my system, there is I think some issue with Lombok, but it should not be there in yours. It will be there. Okay. So the Lombok is done. Now what about SonarLint? How do we do that? Okay, so for SonarLint, what are we going to do? Okay, request body is done. Apply Lombok to Pojo is done. What is Pojo? Did you guys understand really what Pojo is? So this is a Pojo class with private fields and setters. Getters is known as a Pojo class. We can have a separate Pojo class in that also. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So now SonarLint. So what about SonarLint? So for this, we need to go to the help section and Eclipse Marketplace. And here we can install the SonarLint. Like you will see a search option there. This search option will be available to you. And here you can type SonarLint, SonarLint, and hit enter. So you can see in my system it is already installed, but if in your system if you not have configured it, then it should be showing like this install. After that, there will be certain procedures and steps you need to follow to install it. It's not a big deal. You guys can do that. And also to check if it is installed or not, we can go to the Windows and show view, and here you will see in okay in other, here you can see SonarLint on the fly. This will come like this. It will show us all the things in our code that is being done, and it will suggest you all the changes that will be there. So this is what SonarLint is. Okay, now talking about the layered application. So what is a layered application basically? So in the layered application, first there will be a controller which will be used for routing in the sense like response and request purposes, and there will be services. Now the services basically includes the business logic, and the services can be made in two ways, like first there are interfaces and another will be implementation of those interfaces. Okay, so in layered application, how the process looks like, the controller talks to the service layer and the service layer will talk to the DAO layer. And now what is DAO layer? DAO layer is basically something which will be responsible for handling the database responsibilities. Database for database interactions, interactions. So controller layer talks to the service layer talks to the DAO layer. This is a layered application. This is how a layered application is built in Spring. Controller cannot directly talk to DAO or any other. And also services cannot talk to controller. Only controller can talk to service, service can talk to DAO. So there is a step-by-step procedure that needs to be followed here. So this in the same way, we can do this here also. So that is it for this video, where we have seen Lombok, SonarLint, and a bit much about layered application. So that is it. In the next video, we will be talking about the microservices, how the microservices are being created, and what are the various types of microservices, architectures, and all of those stuff. Okay, guys, thank you so much.